What's going on, fellas, ladies, and all you beautiful people who tune in every time we drop an episode of Grit on the Rocks podcast? If you're listening to this around Christmas time, first I gotta say Merry Christmas, which you probably are. You know, it's Christmas Eve. If you're listening to this once it comes out, basically. But yeah, I gotta say, Merry Christmas. Chances are life feels a little louder than usual. You know, the shopping, obligations, expectations, deadlines, and stress disguised as quote-unquote holiday cheer. So before we do anything else, my beautiful family, take a breath. Today's episode isn't about hustle. It's not about grinding harder. It's about remembering what actually matters. Because, think about it, Christmas has slowly turned into something noisy, something expensive, rushed, kind of performative, you know? When it was meant to be something humble, you know, grateful and sacred. So let's take a reset here.
This podcast is a Buenos Dias Media production.
This is the Grit on the Rocks podcast, where raw conversations meet smooth sips. Pull up a chair, pour your favorite drink, puff on your favorite cigar, and join us as we dive into the convos that matter. No scripts, no barriers, just unfiltered truth served straight up. Cheers to the real ones out there. Salud.
So before we officially dive in, I want to remind you to follow, like, subscribe, comment, leave us a review, drop some stars, and share with your friends and family. And I say this because, you know, it depends on what platform you're consuming us, whether you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or iHeartRadio, or if you're watching on YouTube or Rumble. I mean, that's all we ask in return from you, our beautiful community.
The views and opinions expressed by the host, guest, and/or participants of this show do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Buenos Dias Media LLC, its associates, partners, and show sponsors. The content is intended for entertainment purposes and should not be construed as professional advice. Listener discretion is advised.
All right, so let's dive into this. I mean, let's look at what Christmas has become, right? Versus what was it meant to be? Because somewhere along the way, Christmas became about how much you spend, right? What you buy, what your house looks like. Is it big? Is it small? Are there decorations? Did you put up lights? Do you have a real tree? Do you have a fake tree? With the social media age, it's what you post. Did you post Christmas pictures? Did you post the pictures of you dressed all nicely, celebrating the holiday season? Did you send out Christmas cards? You know, it's become about whether your gifts are enough. Did you spend enough? How much did they spend on you? How much did you spend? And it's like we turned gratitude into pressure. But Christmas didn't start in abundance. It started in humility. No palace, no wealth, no spotlight. Just a baby born in a manger to a carpenter and a young woman, while the world carried on unaware. And that alone should tell us something. Because if God wanted to make a statement through luxury, he would have. Instead, he made it through simplicity. So let's talk about gratitude for a second here. And I'm not talking about gratitude like the Instagram caption kind, right? Not the I'm thankful but ... kind of statement. I'm talking about real gratitude. The kind where you stop complaining long enough to realize you woke up today. You have food in your fridge, on your table. You have heat, right? You're nice and warm if you live somewhere cold. You have AC if you live somewhere warm. You have people who care. Doesn't have to be family, but there are people who care, even though sometimes it might not seem so. Like, you have opportunities others only pray for. Yet some of us live in the constant complaining about what we have. Meanwhile, there are others that would give anything to have what you have. See, we live in a world where comparison kills contentment. Someone always has more. And this is especially amplified in, the digital era. We have social media. We are exposed to everyone else's lifestyle out there. Even if it's a fake lifestyle, right? It's a pretend one for the gram. But someone always has more. Someone always has newer. Someone always has easier. But my friends, comparison will rob you of joy faster than anything else. And Christmas is the reminder to count blessings, not blessings you don't have. Because while we stress about gifts, there are families praying just for warmth. While we complain about things like traffic, others are walking miles. While we argue about traditions, others are simply just trying to survive. Gratitude, my friends, isn't weakness. It's perspective. So let's talk about something real for a moment now. When we look at Christians, right? Christians, and I speak about Christians because, Christmas is tied to Christianism. And Christians are one of the only groups that constantly get told to, and I know this might not be a popular opinion, and I know this might ruffle some feathers. I don't know. But I gotta say this as a man who considers himself of Christian faith. And I've said this before, I might not be a part of a specific church, but I am a man of faith. I know what I believe in. I know what I follow. So Christians are one of the only groups that are constantly getting told to tone it down. They're told to rename things, told to remove symbols, to stay quiet, to be quote unquote inclusive by excluding themselves. See, happy holidays now, right? Instead of Merry Christmas. They're told to remove nativity scenes. And they have to celebrate everything but the real reason why Christmas exists. And here's the irony. Christianity teaches humility, forgiveness, service, and love. Yet, it's treated like it's something dangerous. Now listen, this isn't about attacking anyone. This isn't about standing firm, without being bitter. Because you don't need to be loud, you don't need to argue, and you don't need to force anything. But you also don't need to erase your faith to make others comfortable. Right? You're not hurting anyone. And these are your beliefs. This is your faith. And again, I also got to speak to both sides, right? You can't force people to believe what you believe. That's not the point either. But you can say things like Merry Christmas with love. You can celebrate Christ without hatred. You can hold your beliefs without apologizing for them. Because faith isn't about dominance. It's about conviction, but conviction with humility. So before we continue, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll be talking about what we should actually focus on, as well as what the good word says about this. We will be right back. You are listening to Grit on the Rocks podcast, a Buenos Dias Media production.
Looking to connect with like-minded men who share your drive for success and passion for the finer things in life? Welcome to the Apex Gentlemen's Guild, a private members club for men who value ambition, camaraderie, giving back, and personal growth. For a limited time while we're fully remote, you can join the guild for free. Gain access to tons of motivational content, exclusive events, insightful discussions, and a network of high-performance individuals. Don't miss this chance to elevate your social circle. Request to join today at facebook.com/groups/Apex Gentlemen's Guild, or give us a like at facebook.com/Apex Gentlemen's Guild. The Apex Gentlemen's Guild, excellence forged in unity.
Fellas, if cigars are more than just smoke to you, if they're part of your lifestyle, your conversations, your identity, then you need to be tuned in to the Cigar Cypher podcast. Every week, we break down the world of premium cigars and the business with style, culture, and real conversation. No fluff, no pretension, just a conversation on everything that burns slow and speaks loud. From learning how to spot fake Cubans, to mastering cigar lounge etiquette, to understanding the power of networking over smoke. The Cigar Cypher gives you the knowledge, the laughs, and the insight every cigar lover deserves. We highlight premium cigars, talk industry news, decode cigar culture, and sit down for the kind of discussions you only get in a leather chair with good company. So, if you're ready to elevate your cigar game, deepen your knowledge, and become part of a community built on craftsmanship and conversation, light up, lean back, and join us. Search the Cigar Cypher podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and Rumble. The Cigar Cypher podcast, this is where smoke meets conversation.
This is the Modern V podcast, where voice, vulnerability, and victory meet. I'm Leilani.
And I'm Michelle. We're two friends having the real conversations women actually need about healing, hustle, motherhood, love, money, and the patterns we know too well.
No pretending here. Just honest stories, expert gems, and practical tools so you can feel seen and move forward.
If you ever felt silenced, judged, or just tired of carrying it all, you're home. Pull up a chair.
New episodes are short enough for your commute, deep enough to change your week.
Hit follow on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Share this with your sisters, your group chat. Your future self will thank you.
The Modern V.
The Modern V.
Voice,
vulnerability,
victory.
victory.
Gentlemen, this one's for you. Whether you're signing deals, chasing dreams, or just unwinding after a long day, your cigar should match your grind. At thegentleman'storch.com, we bring you premium cigars, boutique blends, and curated sample packs, all without the premium price. Because class isn't about the label, it's about the standard you set. From CEOs to 9-to-5ers, every man deserves that moment, that taste of excellence. So light up, level up, and let your story burn slow. Visit thegentleman'storch.com, where affordability meets class and every smoke means something. The Gentleman's Torch. Light up, level up.
Hi, this is Kevin B. Cloth. You're listening to Grit on the Rocks podcast.
Welcome back. We are back here at Grit on the Rocks podcast, and today is our Christmas special 2025. And we've been talking about Christmas, right, and what it has become and what it should be, and you know, how some people's faith is silenced basically so that others can feel good. Right? So let's look at what should we actually focus on this Christmas. Let's make it practical. This Christmas, my brothers and sisters, I want you to focus on presents over presents. Because your time matters more than anything you can buy. Let's focus on relationships over receipts. Call people, text them, sit with people, forgive people, connect with people. You know, sometimes people spent years without connecting with their loved ones. Sometimes, you know, there might be arguments, there might be differences of opinions or whatever it is. But sometimes it's something very nonsensical, right? To put it that way. Sometimes something very minimal, and pride gets in the way, and everyone decides to be the one that it's not going to reach out. So this Christmas, I want you guys to focus on those relationships over receipts. Connect with those you love. Let's focus on gratitude over entitlement. No one owes you anything. Understand that. Everything you have is grace. So let's be grateful for that. Let's focus on service over status. Help someone. You know what? Help someone who can't repay you. Do it out of the goodness of your heart. Bless them. Be a blessing in their life without expecting anything in return. Let's focus on faith over fear. The world feels heavy right now, and Christmas reminds us that hope still entered the room. So what does the Bible say about things like Christmas and gratitude? Focus. Like Luke 2:10-11 says, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people." You see, Christmas is about joy. It's not about pressure. And I feel like as the years go by, it's become more about pressure, financial pressure, time pressure, you know, go, and oh my gosh, and what am I going to get? And can I afford this? It's all pressure, when it should be about joy. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says that, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." Not some circumstances, not when it's easy, right? All circumstances. It's important that we live in gratitude. And I get it. I get it that sometimes are harder than others. And sometimes you're going through a storm that it's so hard to be grateful. But it's important that we do so. Matthew 6:21 says that, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be." If your heart is in stuff, right? Material stuff, you'll never feel full. But if your heart is in faith, people, and purpose, you will. James 1:17 says that every good and perfect gift is from above. So before we unwrap anything under a tree, we've already received the greatest gift. This Christmas, I don't want you to let the world rush you past the meaning. I want you to slow down. I want you to give thanks, to love deeper, to serve quietly, to stand firm in your faith. And no matter what you believe in, doesn't have to be my faith. Whatever you believe in, stand firm in your faith. You don't need a perfect holiday. You need a present heart. So from me to you, and from the Grit on the Rocks to your family, I want to say, Merry Christmas. May your home be filled with peace, your heart with gratitude, your life with purpose. And remember, my friends, keep your spirits high, your cigars lit, your glasses full, and your conversations meaningful. I am David, and this is Grit on the Rocks podcast, a Buenos Dias Media production. Until next time, cheers.
Grit on the rocks tonight, met with hearts like iron.